me, sexuality is where all of your stuff shows up,
Mm,
Yep.
right? That's where I just got the goosebumps, my own confirmation. So this is where the stuff shows up, and sometimes sex isn't sexy.
mm.
So what you're talking about here is a very conscious practice. Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Himology, where I have the privilege of speaking to Rahi and Ariel. They are somatic sexual educators and somatic body workers. Combined, they have 17 years of experience. And I'm Shari James. I help men heal erectile dysfunction by keeping them off of pills, getting them off of pills, or in some cases, getting pills to work with my holistic approach to healing erectile dysfunction. Welcome. I know Rahi from Los Angeles and completely respect his work and hear all good things about him.
Yes, it's very, very exciting. Our partnership, it's really birthing so much kind of transmissions and wisdom through our erotic divine union, which we want to speak more about today.
I'm
To
already activated.
yes.
You're already working your magic, so why don't we
Love
start
it.
with
Love
wisdom
it. Love it.
bomb?
Well, that is actually, we're both very service oriented and we're both very fascinated with sexuality. Like our paths have really been intertwined with various expressions and explorations of sexuality throughout our lives. And part of what we want to bring to the world is what you're feeling is that Kundalini activation in all bodies, all around the world.
Yeah, so people can just like live their lives turned on and in love with life.
Exactly. Exactly.
Absolutely. All right. Why don't we go to wisdom bomb number one, which is lasting longer in the bedroom is not a technique. I love it.
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right. I
exactly.
love this one. So I can't wait to hear what inspired you to write this.
Well, we feel like our culture and media and our society really focuses on techniques, kind of like quick fixes. And in our work and in our experience, we really understand the pivotal role the nervous system plays in not only like the sense of safety a body feels, but really everything to do with sexual arousal, pleasure, sensation, responsiveness, presence, all of it. And so, in addition to understanding the nervous system, we're really big advocates for our clients to really understand their erogenous capacity, their erogenous genitalia, and how to not only give voice to what it is they want, but give voice to what it is they don't want. And so we really encourage our clients to have consent within their own bodies in order to engage from that place of kind of consensual, a high consensual IQ, so for that safety to be there in order for the pleasure to just go on and on and on.
I think a lot of people watching might be surprised at how the nervous system plays a role in sexuality, whether it be arousal, safety, how much pleasure capacity we have. So can you speak a little more about the nervous system's role? And because we're talking about lasting longer in the bedroom is not a technique. So how do those flow together?
Mhm.
Sure, sure. So, like the role, essentially the state of our nervous system affects everything from how oxytocin flows in the body to the oxygenation of breath, which infuses our tissues with sensitivity because that's based on blood flow, which affects our sensations, right? It affects whether we're hypervigilant in the mind as opposed to really being present to what's happening in the body. So, like, really understanding your own nervous system and what triggers your own nervous system. Like if you come in home to your partner or spouse after like a hard day at work where something bad happened or
Mhm.
something unexpected happened, your nervous system is not going to be in a receptive state for intimacy, for touch, for
Yeah.
play. And your lover may be pining and waiting for you all day at home. And
Ready to
so
pounce.
exactly, ready to
But
pounce.
then you're like,
Right. Now, what often happens is, the person's not in the mood, and then the person who's ready to pounce and has been waiting all day makes it about them, thinks there's something unattractive, or they did something wrong, or they're not, and so there's this kind of just simply understanding not only your nervous system, but your partner's nervous system,
Right.
and like your partner's history of when their nervous system went into fight, flight, fawn, or freeze can
Hmm.
really kind of deepen your freedom in knowing how to play in the bedroom.
So that requires a high level of sensitivity and awareness.
Mhm.
Oh, so for someone watching this who most people have not developed that level of sensitivity and awareness. So what is one practical, let's say tip? I hate doing tips because we got to do tips in this day and age that someone can use to become more sensitized to their lover. Does it start with their own nervous system, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think it does start with our own nervous system, and really the first thing is slowing down. So one of the things that we teach is the 8 pillars of intimacy, which is really the pillars that guide people through the process that allows them to come into an empowered, safe presence with themselves and with someone else. So first, slowing down
Mm-hmm.
and pausing so that you can even like take a moment to notice what's going on for you, and then attuning to what's going on for you. And then from that place of like attuning to yourself, you need to accept what's happening within yourself.
Yeah, saying
And
yes to
then,
the moment.
yeah. And then trust what you're experiencing and value it enough to then like communicate with your partner, or maybe even make any adjustments to how you're showing up in the space.
So real-time communication.
Yes, and real time, it's kind of like, letting your inner world experience be transparent with your partner. So if you're
Mhm.
going through, if something triggers me, I can just say it out loud and ask for a pause, right? And then Ariel will know that something's upset with me, and she can hold a space, and then we can work through it together
Right.
rather than me being kind of frozen or in some triggered state, for, an extended period of time, which kind of like wastes the whole night.
Without knowing the root causes of erectile dysfunction, you might as well just go ahead and throw your pills in the garbage. Contact me for your free video consult. What if someone out there is thinking to themselves, well, this doesn't sound very sexy?
Mm.
Because I could see I could see someone thinking that, right? Like I feel
Yeah.
like I'm going to answer my own question. I'm going to steal the spotlight for a second
Yeah, go
Go.
for it.
because because for me, sexuality is where all of your stuff shows up,
Mm,
Yep.
right? That's where I just got the goosebumps, my own confirmation. So this is where the stuff shows up, and sometimes sex isn't sexy.
mm.
Mhm.
So what you're talking about here is a very conscious practice. So I'm curious where the breath plays a role because we want people to be lasting longer in the bedroom and not using a technique. So I'm guessing there has to be some breath in there somewhere.
Well, sure. I mean, breath, sounding, movement, presence, those are all key pillars in what we teach.
Mhm.
We start with the nervous system, and then we go to one-way touch, right? So a
Ooh.
lot of people don't have, like, frankly, a lot of people will touch in order to avoid receiving touch. So we really want both of
Ah,
them, right, to have an expanded capacity.
inability to receive. Yes,
Exactly, the
yes.
ability to receive. And then we're really big on this concept called, well, it's a practice called genital mapping. And we encourage our clients to map the entire body, all the erogenous zones of the body. So you not only are you receiving one-way touch, but you're receiving in ways that stimulate the kinds and qualities of touch that stimulate all of your erogenous zones. So essentially, we're we're building an inventory of our own body, what our bodies are turned on about, and the capacity to give voice to it. That's the whole next level. It's
Yeah.
one thing to know what turns your body on, but it's another thing to be able to advocate and give voice to it in the moment, so that your body is really getting the exquisite quality of touch and attention that it's wanting and yearning for.
And that is sexy.
Yeah, and actually, I want to go back to this,
Yeah.
well, go on about this idea of like what is sexy, because I want to invite like a reframing of sexy. I think so much of what we think other people think is sexy, it's like we're very conditioned
Yes.
by media, by porn, um,
My
and
perfect.
right. Like for me, it's extremely sexy when Rahi is vulnerable with me and shares aspects of himself that he might not share with other people. When he tells me what's actually going on for him and what he's wanting and desiring, like that is super hot. And
Yes.
and like what's actually sexy is what brings us our deepest pleasure. And that might not be what like porn or TV tells us is supposed to be sexy.
Like the way we view sexiness is really about connection and intimacy. And I really feel like this distinction is important. I had a couple in my Three Keys to Genital Dearmoring course. She's like 78 and he's like 82. And they realized at the end of the course, what they were really looking for is intimacy and connection. And I think a lot of people are chasing after sex, thinking that that's what they want when they're really wanting intimacy and connection. And when we get to the deep, extended lovemaking states of erotic connection, so many like hidden aspects of ourselves come out into the bedroom, whether that's shadow aspects or kind of like inner teenager or inner children that didn't feel safe to come up.
Yeah.
And that becomes deeply intimate and deeply sexy.
Well, and going back to your wisdom bomb, just to cap this off, is it sounds like once you, first of all, it sounds fun to do the body mapping, the genital mapping, right? Like really get to know your partner intimately in a way that you typically would emotionally, but you are erotically. And that is naturally going to lead to lasting longer in the bedroom. Both person is getting what they want or what I'm sure what they need, like what their bodies need. It's slowed down, it's made conscious, there's awareness brought to it, which I know after a while becomes second nature, right? So it's a bit of a it's like learning to ride a bike. And then you can get on the bike and do it anytime years later, even if it feels a little scary at times. So I think what I love about doing this series with high-level sexual healers such as yourself is that I want to let guys know or anyone watching this that this is what's possible. Hey, you. Hey, guy, who's learning about sexual health, mixed in with some Tantra, mixed in with some 5 elements of Chinese medicine and some Western medicine. I want to let you know something. I would love it if you would hit my subscribe button and the notification bell. That way, you're going to know when new content is posted every Friday.